Hey, Nichole Huntsman here. All right, I am here to help you figure out what to buy for that person on your list this year. That's a tricky, tough one to find presents for. So what we're going to do, we are going to take a peek at this person, or maybe it's you, or maybe it's someone maybe it's your whole family. You want to sit down with a notepad and make a list here. Instead of looking at the person's sun sign, we're going to look at their moon sign. So for those of you who are new to astrology, if you're saying, what is a moon sign? Go to astro.com and go to their extended chart selection, and you can create a birth chart for yourself. You just need your birth date, of course, your birth time, and the city. So if you don't have the birth time, that's okay. You can go ahead and put your birth date in with a noon birth time. But because the moon changes signs every about 2.5 days, there's a good chance that your moon, it's possibly you were born on a day it changed signs. So birth certificate time, written time, those are always preferable. Okay. Now, why are we going to use the moon? Why not use, I don't know, Mercury or someone's Venus maybe? Now, a couple of reasons. First of all, a person's moon, if you think about the moon as an object, as a celestial object, it's, of course, the closest to us here on Earth, meaning from our perspective, it's the quickest. And it does obviously make its rotation every about, lunar month for us, and so around the Earth. So it's quick, so that makes it more personal. That moment you were born, it's not just the date you were born, but it's the time and the location. It's kind of a little freeze frame of the fabric of space-time. It sort of freezes it right in that moment, and you walk into existence, and you become a conscious, well, babies are sort of unconscious, but you become a part of the fabric of existence. When you take that first breath, you separate from the mother. So moon, it is the part of us, I believe, that is developed while we are in the mother's womb. Once I think the brain has developed enough to sort of hear sounds, or perhaps to feel primary emotions. From mothers stressed while pregnant, I would imagine that things like adrenaline and cortisol that are in her blood stream might also cross over the placental barrier and enter the baby's bloodstream. So like the mother's sort of emotional state maybe may perhaps affect the baby's development, but then also when that baby is born, they're unconscious, right? So like the tabula rasa idea, I suppose. The world around them, they're learning every day new things, and they're learning when they have discomfort or pain, how does the world respond? And of course, our first primary caregiver tends to be the mother. So your moon is developed in a sense, you're born during a certain time. The moon you were born under, it's just the moon you were born under, right? It's like a clock. So your mother wasn't necessarily like an Aries, or literally an Aries if you have an Aries moon, but the way you perceived your emotional needs being met by this initial, caregiver, it's going to be seen through an Aryan lens. Okay, so that being said, the moon in a person's chart shows you how that person unconsciously, from a very deep rooted, psychologically rooted place as a human, how they experience existence. And the human experience, of course, is tied to emotion, right? We know that memories that we have that tend to stick with us longer are those when we have adrenaline, or we have a flood of adrenaline because it's a scary experience, and that imprints the memory on our brain. So point being, emotion is really powerful, and if you can find a gift for somebody that speaks to that part of that person, voila. Let's talk about Aries. Okay, you've got someone who's got an Aries moon. Now, I have an Aries moon, so I'm speaking from a little bit of a biased perspective here, but I'll give you my sort of insider's opinion about it having an Aries moon. Again, if you think of the moon, as I said in the beginning, it is the part of you that develops while you're pre-language. So you're pre-language, you don't have a way to communicate yet. You don't understand that these sounds coming out of people's mouths have a meaning. Okay, it's all abstract to you at this point. All you really have to perceive the world through is your feelings, and that can be physical sensations, but also fear. Usually, for babies, it's going to be obviously there's delight and whatnot when they're interacting with their person or people, but there's also that fear of separation. Or if I have a son, my son's got a Capricorn moon, and he fell off the bed 2 times when he was a baby, and he fell to the swing 1 time. And I'm talking like I was with him all the time as a stay-at-home mom, so it was one of those things where, the world for him might have initially been a place that was kind of painful or dangerous or scary, you know? And he's a Capricorn moon and he's very cautious. He doesn't like when he doesn't know what to expect, etc. That's kind of an example. Now, Aries as an archetype, and if you think of the zodiac as, you know, as a circle, think of the circle. Aries being that cardinal 0 degree of Aries is where the ascendant is located, right? And Aries is pure instinct, in my personal opinion. It is like a little child who is outside playing. Just think of when you're a kid and you're running around playing, right? And you're really just, oh, I want to go grab that red ball, and you run over and grab it, right? There's not with the Aries archetype, it's just emergence. And here I am, and I'm taking action. It's like a forest fire moving up a mountain. It keeps going as long as it's got fuel. And it's not thinking, it's like a reflex. Okay, so there's a quality to Aries that's very much tied to just this more animalistic or primal drivers that we have as humans. Now, what's interesting is Aries moons a lot of times are misunderstood. Aries moons actually are probably one of the more insecure moon placements because, as I was just mentioning, Aries is that ascendant placement on a natural zodiac wheel. If you're to put all the signs where they sort of match their houses, okay? First house is Aries, put Aries there. Cancer's down at the 4th, okay? Libra's over at the 7th, Capricorn's at the top. Aries is Mars. It's Yang. It's your physical body. It's the DNA you came in, okay? It's also when you are walking through this world, it's you from your perspective. It's your two eyes. Your two eyes can't see themselves, right? You can see your cheeks sort of. It's like this is for you a nexus of perception, at least visual perception, right? And you can only see what's right in front of you. But the point being, Aries is like your eyeballs. Aries sees across the way the descendant, Libra, 7th house, and it can see Libra over there, right? But the issue here is Aries is just seeing things from its own eyeballs. That's all it can do. That's why Libra is actually a mirroring archetype. It has to do with showing that person back that you understand them and that you see them, so they feel seen, okay? So with an Aries moon person, there's this common theme of it's a passionate moon placement. It's almost a naive, childlike nature, whether it's romantically or just things that they love. There's like, oh, I want that thing and I'm gonna go after it. We like things fast. We like things that are new. That's the big thing with the gift. So for your Aries, this person who a lot of times they're considered selfish, but they're not. Aries will go buy the gift themselves. This happens all the time. If I want something, I go buy it for myself, if I can afford it. Otherwise, if I can't afford it, and if somebody bought it for me, that'd be awesome. But I wouldn't expect it. I just would. The Moon in Aries, there's self-sufficiency and self-reliance. Because there's this element to our perception of the mothering, the caregiving, or the caregiver. There's something there in that relationship where, the self felt like it had to do its own self-soothing. Maybe the mother was an anxious mother. Maybe the mother was detached, etc. Who knows? But if you can figure out how to get that Aries something that they really, really want, that's going to offer them a new experience. So for example, let's say, and now Aries, because it's so primal, this new experience could be anything from taking flight lessons all the way up into somebody who has always loved ballet and they've always wanted to take ballet classes and you bought them like a package, that kind of thing. So it doesn't matter what it is so much, right? This is where people don't fully understand the archetypes. The Aries archetype is about new. Where's the fire going to burn next? Where's the grass that it needs to stay alive? So what can you find for your Aries that's exciting and new for them that they've never experienced before? And this doesn't have to be something expensive. It could be even something spontaneous and fun, like a surprise. Like you just have their bags packed, car packed, and you come pick them up from work or something. They weren't expecting it, but you did all the planning in the background, so they're all taken care of and covered. And you just take them someplace. That would be really fun for an Aries moon, assuming it was something that they wanted to go do. So you need to know your Aries moon well if you're going to do that. Another idea is just quite simply something like oh, you've never been skydiving? Let's go skydiving together. Or whatever they love that's exciting to them. Somehow figure out a way for them to get to go do that. Now, another idea is, let's say they're with this Aries, there's something that they have wanted to buy for themselves with this Aries moon, and they don't have enough money. Another great idea is put together a little fund with friends and family. If they've got this dream that they've always wanted to, I don't know, motorcycle across the United States or something, or they wanted to, I don't know, build a little cabin out in the middle of Iowa. I guess you wouldn't do a cabin in Iowa. Start a farm in Iowa, I don't know, whatever. So, but they don't have the money. Something like a little Kickstarter, something that gets them started and gets them excited, lights their fire, lights the burner underneath them. And then the last thing I'm kind of feeling like for an Aries moon is, if you've got someone who's not someone you're super close to and you don't want to put a ton of time and effort into this, honestly figure out their very favorite store. If they like, my son, for example, he loves gaming and that kind of thing. So I got him a gift card for, it's an online website for gamers. I forget what it's called, Steam. That kind of thing. And he loved it. He thought that was so awesome because he's like, Mom, I already know what I want. He's kind of like, let me buy it for myself. Now, he also has a Capricorn moon, so we'll talk about that later, but he is an Aries. And so point being, I think with the Aries moons, I know me personally, I'm an Aries moon, and I know what I like. And I like when people give me gift cards or cash. We're not super sentimental. That's the thing with Aries moons. So we kind of sometimes suck when it comes to like a Cancer moon or someone who's more sentimental. We sometimes aren't always really good at knowing how to fully coddle or nurture or be clingy to another person. That's not our strength. So, okay, last thing though, along those lines, because Aries aren't super emotional people, that's not true. Aries moons are emotional people, very reflexively emotional. When we're angry, we're angry. When we're happy, we're happy. When we're sad, we're sad. All of the above. And we feel vulnerable a lot because with Aries because there is that sort of sense of I need to be stoic, or I need to sort of be brave, or I need to take care of my own emotional material, because that's what's safe. That's what I've learned is safe. I take care of my own emotional needs. To be open and vulnerable to another person, even when it comes to something as simple as a gift, is a little bit hard. Aries moons a lot of times don't always love receiving gifts. It's not like always their favorite. I feel very awkward about receiving gifts, but I also have a draconic moon. It's in Virgo, so it's that too. So if it's someone that's a romantic partner, feeling like, for Aries moons, if we feel like we're the one and only, and we are the person that our partner is devoted to, and if it's reciprocal, that is a very powerful, it can be a gift that's really meaningful. So it could be a simple card or something, but words that say as much as that, you're the one person that it's you or no one kind of a thing. Aries are competitive, and Aries moons fall in that same category. For them to feel safe and reassured with you, they need to know that you really love them. And they might kind of need constant reminders, but they're not going to ask for them. We don't ask for a true Aries moon. We're like, well, okay, I guess you don't love me. I'm out. Bye. So you have to be sure to help us to be more vulnerable, that it's safe to be vulnerable, I guess. So that's my last suggestion. Okay, and also I'm going to be doing a sale. So it's going to be today, tomorrow, and Friday. It's a 3-day sale for 2019 forecast. So it's a great gift for any sign. It's a 40-minute reading. It's done as a video recording. We do it like this, divided in 2 sections, and you can get one for yourself, for friends, family, etc. If you're interested in doing like a package, let me know. You can message me and I'll let you know about kind of group discounts, that sort of thing. So, okay. So I hope that was helpful for you. And of course, last but not least, for your friend, whatever their moon placement is, astrology reading is always a great way to help a person better understand themselves. And so I'm actually doing a little sale here to celebrate 2019 that's coming up. We've got a lot of big changes with Uranus, of course, ingressing back into Taurus. He popped his head in there this last year. He's kind of hanging out back in Aries right now. But he'll be back in Taurus, and he's not going to go back into Aries again. A lot of big changes this next year for people when it comes to the structure in their world that gives them a sense of security, job security, relationship security, financial security. Lots of themes that if the old way of doing things, that's changing when it comes to how you invest your money or how you buy a house. My good friend was saying she thinks there's going to be a lot more barter and trade and jobs. The job market's going to be shifting, and we've got a global economy that we're all dealing with. Technology shifts and changes. So point being, this next year is a big year. And if you thought that 2018 was a little tricky, me personally, I don't even remember 2018. I'm like, wait, what? Hold on. I still feel like it's January, kind of a crazy year. 2019 has some unique challenges. It's got some beautiful pieces too. Every year there's no good nor bad. But I'd be happy to help you navigate those, like how personally it might show up in your life, as well as people that you love and care about. So I'm doing they're 40-minute forecasts. They're shorter, kind of mini forecasts, which frankly, it's more concentrated. So we'll do a look at your progress chart, and then we'll do a look at your solar return chart. I do it in 2 sections. It's a little video recording just like this, addressed to you, and it's uploaded onto a private or an unlisted YouTube playlist for you to watch. So it's and then you can ask me questions if you have any. Let me know if you're interested, and the way you do that, you go to my website, and on the website you can see the calendar, the schedule. You can pick the time. The time is not exact necessarily. It's just because I can only take so many people per day. So at the end of the day, you get your link and you get your video that you can watch. You can pay for it there on the website. You pay for it. You do it all. It's very easy. And I take credit cards, debit cards, all that normal good stuff, PayPal, etc. It's very easy, and hopefully it's something where we can do a little work together. It can make your upcoming year be something that you're prepared for the weather. You got your umbrella or your boots or your tank top, what have you. Okay, hope you all have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Festivus. If you don't celebrate, whatever it is, stay safe, and thank you so much for all of your support on my channel. And this has been a real wild ride. Okay, take care. All right, bye-bye.